Hello students, welcome to the digital class of Standard 10th. Let us begin with our second lesson, periodic classification of elements. In our previous class, we have studied about Dobbe-Reiner's triads, Newland's law of octaves, Mendeleev's periodic table, merits of Mendeleev's periodic table, demerits of Mendeleev's periodic table, modern periodic law, Lonform periodic table, and the structure of the periodic table. Here we are going to study the structure of the modern periodic table. This is the modern long form periodic table. Refer page 23 of your textbook. There are 7 horizontal rows called as periods 1 to 7, 18 vertical columns group 1 to 18. There are 118 boxes in the periodic table. It means 118 places for elements in the modern periodic table is given. The arrangement of the periods and the groups results into the formation of these boxes. The atomic numbers are serially indicated in the upper part of these boxes. Here we can see that the entire periodic table is divided into 4 blocks. S block, group 1 and 2, P block, group 13 to 18, D block, group 3 to 12, and F block, lanthanide and actinide series at the bottom. In this colorful periodic table, you can observe that S block 1 and 2, P block 13 to 18, D block 3 to 12, F block at the bottom. The D block elements are called as the transition elements. A zigzag line can be drawn in the P block of the periodic table. The 3 traditional types of elements can be clearly seen in the modern periodic table with the help of the zigzag line. The metalloids elements lie along the border of this zigzag line. All the metals, they lie on the left hand side of the zigzag line, while all the non-metals lie on the right hand side. Group 18 contains the inert gases and group 17 elements are called as the halogens. See, here also you can see it very clearly. The left hand side of the zigzag line where the metalloids are there in green, the left side indicates the metals and the right hand side indicates the non-metals. Here we can see the different types of metal: aluminium, lead, copper, nickel, zinc, tin, etc. Then you can also see the non-metals: strontium, sulfur. There are the noble metals: gold, platinum. Then there are metalloids. You can see these metals here. Now, modern periodic table and the electronic configuration of the elements. We have seen that within a period, the neighboring elements differ slightly in their properties, while distant elements differ widely in their properties. The elements shown in the same group show similar properties and gradation in their properties. These characteristics of groups and periods in the modern table are because of their electronic configuration of the elements. Now let us consider the example of group 1. Group 1 consists of alkali metals. The elements are lithium, sodium, potassium, rubidium, cesium and francium. The electronic configuration is given there. For lithium 3 it is 2 and 1. Means in the first shell there are 2 electrons, in the second one there is 1 electron. Sodium 11, 2, 8, 1. Potassium 19, 2, 8, 8, 1. Rubidium 2, 8, 8, 18, 1. Cesium 2, 8, 8, 18, 18, 1. And francium 2, 8, 8, 18, 18, 32 and 1. Now look at the electronic configuration. You will find that the number of valence electrons means the number of electrons in the last shell. Everywhere it is 1. So it shows that these are the elements which are present in group 1 because the requirement of the valence electron is 1. Similarly, if you look at group number 2, alkaline earth metals, the elements are beryllium, magnesium, calcium, strontium, barium and radium. Beryllium 4, magnesium 12, calcium 20, strontium 38, barium 56 and radium 88. Now if you observe the last shell, there are 2 valence electrons in each shell. So we can say that all these elements, they belong to group 2. Similarly, if you observe one more example of group 17, that is the group of halogen consisting of the elements fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, you will see that fluorine 9, 2 and 7, chlorine, again the valence electron is 7, bromine is 7, iodine is 7, and if you go on observing, you will see that all in the last shell, everywhere, the valence electron is 7. So what we observe from all these 3 examples, that while going from top to bottom within any group, 1 electron shell get added at a time. From this we can say that the electronic configuration of the outermost shell is the characteristics of a particular group. Now look at the new period, new shell. Now if you see the example given in the slide, you will observe that group 1 to 18, everywhere there is 1 electron increasing. Like for example, lithium 2 and 1, because the atomic number of lithium is 3. Beryllium, the atomic number is 4. So 2 and 2. Boron 2 and 3. Carbon 2 and 4. Nitrogen 2 and 5. Oxygen 2 and 6. Fluorine 2 and 7. Neon 2 and 8. So if you observe from left to right, from lithium to neon, everywhere 1 shell is increasing. 1 electron is being added in the shell. In the same shell, 1 electron is being added. And if you go down the group, that is hydrogen, lithium, sodium, potassium, hydrogen 1 shell, lithium 2 shells, K and L, 2 and 1 in lithium, sodium 2, 1, 8, potassium 2, 8, 8, 1. Means everywhere as you go down the group, you see the number of shell is increasing. If you go from left to right in the group, you see that everywhere 1 electron is increasing. If you go down the period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and so on, you will see there 1 shell is increasing. So you will find that the number of valence electrons in different elements, however the number of shells is the same. You will also find that while going from left to right within a period, the atomic number is increasing 1 by 1. Like for lithium it is 3, then beryllium 4, boron 5, carbon 6, nitrogen 7, oxygen 8, fluorine 9, neon 10. So everywhere we see that 1 electron is increasing. So we can say that the elements with the same number of shells occupied by the electrons belong to the same period. The elements in the second period, namely lithium, barium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, fluorine and neon, have the electrons in the 2 shells K and L. The elements in the third period, namely sodium, magnesium and so on, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine and argon, there are 3 shells K, L and M. Okay. So the number of elements in the first 3 period is determined by the electron capacity of the shell. See, here you can see it more in detail. In group 1, lithium, there are 3 electrons, that is the atomic number of lithium is 3, means there are 3 electrons. 2 in the K shell, 1 in the L shell. Now let's just look at B, beryllium, 2 and 4, boron, 2 and 3, carbon, 2 and 4. So if you see, the number of shell is same there, but the number of electrons are increasing. Similarly, if you go down like that, lithium, sodium. Lithium is having 2 shells, K and L. Sodium is having shell K, L and M. Sodium 11. So 2, 8, 1. Potassium again 3 shells. So as per the electron holding capacity of shells, 2 elements are present in the first period and 8 elements in the second period. The third period also contains only 8 elements due to the law of electron octet. There are few more factors which control the filling of the electrons in the subsequent periods, which will be considered in the next standard. The chemical reactivity of an element is determined by the number of valence electrons in it and the shell number of the valence shell. The information of these points is obtained from the position of the element in the periodic table. That is, the periodic table has proved useful for the study of elements. Now you can also see the electron capacity of the electron shell. K shell electron capacity is 2. L shell the electron capacity is 8. Okay. Now when the properties of elements in a period or a group of modern periodic table are compared, certain regularities observed in their variation. It is also called the periodic trends in the modern periodic table. Now in this standard we are going to study these 3 properties of elements, namely valency, atomic size, metallic and non-metallic character. Now first let us consider valency. The valency of an element is determined by the number of electrons present in the outermost shell of its atom, that is the valence electrons. Means hydrogen it is 1. So in the first shell the number of electron is 1. So the valency of hydrogen is 1. Similarly helium, already the shell is complete. Lithium, the valency is 1 because in the first shell the capacity is 2, in the second shell it is 1. So when we observe this table, as we move from left to right, as we move from group 1 to 18, the valency increases by 1. As we go down the period, the valency in group 1 is 1, group 2 is 2, group 3 is 3 and so on. Now the second periodic trend which we are going to study is the atomic size. We have seen in the previous class that size and volume is the fundamental property of matter. The size of an atom is indicated by its outermost shell. Atomic radius is expressed in the unit picometer, pm, which is smaller than nanometer. If we see in the periodic table, the atomic radius goes on decreasing while going from left to right within a period. While going from left to right within a period, the atomic number increases by 1, means the positive charge on the nucleus increases by 1 unit at a time. Now when we are going down the group, the atomic size goes on increasing. It is because a new shell is added. Now we have seen in the periodic table also. As we go from left to right, the number of electrons are increasing. As we go down the period, the number of shells are increasing. Therefore, the distance between the outermost electron and the nucleus goes on increasing. So what we can infer from this? That atomic radius decreases as we move across a period. Why? Because as we move across a period from left to right, 1 proton is added. So the nuclear charge increases, which pulls the outer electron closer, and the size of the atomic radius decreases. Also 1 electron is added to same energy level, so the electron shield has no effect. Now atomic radius, if we say it in a very important and a short way, decrease across a period. Atomic radius decreases across a period means proton number is increasing. It's because proton number is increasing. Effective nuclear charge increases. stronger attraction between the nucleus and the valence electrons, and that is why the atomic radius decreases. Increased is down the group because the energy level increases, the shielding effect increases, weaker attraction between nucleus and the valence electrons, and thus the atomic radius also increases. Now this is one of your answer. The valency also, there is one answer from your exercise, and atomic radius also, this is one of your answer. Page number 25. Now let us compare the characteristic chemical properties of metals and non-metals. It is seen from the chemical formulae of simple ionic compounds that the cation in them is formed when a metal from a metal, while an ion is formed from a non-metal. From this it is understood that metals have the tendency to form a cation by losing valence electron, and this property is called electropositivity of an element. The metal, it has a tendency to lose valence electron. Now since it is losing one electron, the property is called as electropositivity. On the other hand, the non-metal has a tendency to accept the electrons. It has the tendency to accept the electrons. Now previously we have already seen that ions have a stable electronic configuration of a noble gas. All the electrons in any atom are held by the attractive forces exerted on them by the positively charged nucleus. Electrons in the inner shell lie in between the valence shell and the nucleus. Because of their presence, the effective nuclear charge exerting an attractive force on the valence electrons is somewhat less than the actual nuclear charge. And as the combined effect of these two factors, metals have the tendency to lose the valence electrons to form cations having a stable noble gas configuration. And this property of an element of losing the electron to form an ion is called as electropositivity in the metallic character of that element. See, you can see here, sodium is a metal, chlorine is a non-metal. Sodium, the atomic number of sodium is 11, the atomic number of chlorine is 17, sodium 281. So it is losing one electron and it becomes sodium ion. It is a cation. And chlorine, it gains one electron, it becomes chloride ion, and we get a compound sodium chloride. Now what do we understand from here? Cations form when the atom loses one or more electron. The resulting cation has the electronic configuration of the noble gas atom in the row above it in the periodic table, and anions are formed when atom gains one or more electrons. The resulting anion has the electronic configuration of the noble gas atom in the same row of the periodic table. So let us summarize the periodic trends in the elements. We have seen about the valency and the atomic radius. If you go from left to right, you see the atomic radius decreases, the electronegativity and non-metallic character increases, and decrease in the electropositivity and metallic character. If you go down the group, you see increasing atomic radius, decreasing electronegativity and increasing electropositivity. The periodic trend in the metallic character of elements is clearly understood from the position of the modern periodic table. Now let us consider the metallic character of elements belonging to the same group. While going down the group, a new shell gets on added. We have already seen in our previous slides that when you go down the group, a new shell is being added, resulting in the increase in the distance between the nucleus and the valence electrons. This results in the lowering the effect nuclear charge and thereby lowering the attractive force of the valence electron. As a result, the tendency of the atom to lose the electron increases. Also, the penultimate shell becomes the outermost shell after using the valence electron. The penultimate shell is a complete octet. Therefore, the resulting cation has a special stability. Due to this, the tendency of the atom to lose electron increases further, The metallic character of an atom is its tendency to lose the electrons. Therefore, we observe the trend that metallic character of element increases while going down the group. Now, while going from left to right within a period, the outermost shell remains the same. When we are moving from left to right, the outermost shell is the same, only the number of electrons are increasing. However, the positive charge on the nucleus goes on increasing while the atomic radius goes on decreasing, and thus the effective nuclear charge goes on increasing. And as a result of this, the tendency of atom to lose valence electron decreases within the period from left to right. Now here the increasing nuclear charge and the decreasing atomic radius as we go from left to right within the period, they are responsible for increasing the effective nuclear charge. Therefore, the valence electrons are held with greater and greater attractive force. Now this is called the electronegativity of an atom. Due to this increasing electronegativity from left to right within a period, the ability of the atom to become an anion is accepting outside the electron goes on increasing, and that is why the tendency of an element to form an ion or electronegativity is the non-metallic character of an element. Now in short, how we can say that metallic character means how the metals are arranged in the group. The metallic characteristic decreases from left to right across the period. This causes the decrease in the radius and of the atom that allows the outer or electrons to ionize more readily. Metallic character increases down the group. Electron shielding causes the atomic radius to increase. Thus, the outer electron ionizes more readily than the electron in the smaller atom. Metallic character relates to the ability to lose electrons, and non-metallic character relates the ability to gain the electrons, as we have seen in the sodium and chlorine example. Sodium is a metal, so it has the ability to lose electrons. So the metallic character relates that it has the ability to lose the electron, and chlorine, non-metal, it has the ability to gain the electrons. So sodium is a cation and chlorine is an anion. More in detail, metallic character refers to the level of reactivity of a metal, and non-metal character relates to the tendency of accepting the electron. Metals, they lose the electrons, and non-metal, they accept the electrons. Metallic tendency increases down the group, and non-metallic tendency increases from left to right. Now again a small revision of metallic characters. Elements can be categorized, we have already studied before, metals, non-metals and semi-metals or metalloids. Metals, the properties are given, metalloids and non-metals. See here you can again observe the same thing which I had already explained earlier, that in group 1 the number of electrons are increasing, number of shells are increasing, and as we go from left to right the number of electrons are increasing. So metallic character of element increases while going down the group, okay, and we see the tendency of atom to lose valence electron decreasing within a period from left to right. So we can infer in a very short way, tendency of atoms to gain electrons and form negative ion is called as electronegativity. In the periodic table, electronegativity generally increases as you move from left to right across the period and decreases as you move down the group. As a result, the most electronegative elements are found on the top right of the periodic table, while the least electronegative elements are found at the bottom left. Electropositivity, tendency of an atom to lose electrons and form positive ion is called as electropositivity. An element is said to possess more metallic character if it is more electropositive, and since electronegativity decreases across a period, Since electronegativity increases across a period, electropositivity decreases across a period. Tendency of an atom to lose electrons and form positive ion is called as electropositivity. An element is said to possess more metallic character if it is more electropositive. Since electronegativity increases across a period, electropositivity decreases across a period. See, we can summarize it in a very short way how it is being shown in the picture. Electropositivity decreases from left to right. Electronegativity increases from left to right. Electropositivity increases from top to bottom and electronegativity decreases from top to bottom. Here is a small summary of the periodic trends. Atomic radius decreases from left to right. Atomic radius increases from top to bottom. Ionization energy increases from left to right. Ionization decreases from top to bottom. Electronegativity increases from left to right. Electronegativity decreases from top to bottom. Electron affinity increases from left to right and electron affinity decreases from top to bottom. Now, gradation in the halogen family. The halogen group, that is the group number 17, is called as the halogen group, that is the members of the halogen family. All of them have a general formula X2. The gradation is observed in their physical state down the group. Fluorine F2, chlorine C12, Cl2 are gases. Bromine is a liquid and iodine is a solid. Fluorine and chlorine are gases and bromine is a liquid while iodine is a solid. So we have seen today the modern periodic table, the structure of modern periodic table, periods and electronic configuration, periodic trends in the modern periodic table which gives us three properties: valency, atomic size, metallic and non-metallic character, electronegativity and electropositivity, gradation in the halogen group. You all will complete the question answers given on page number 28 and 29. I will be sharing the link where you will get all the answers. You can take the answers from that link. See that you complete both the lessons, gravitation as well as periodic classification of elements, and see that you complete and write all the question answers and the exercises in your notebook. So read the lesson thoroughly, mark important points. Thank you. Have a nice day.